On June the 14th, 1974 at 5:30 a.m., Santiago Pulido Romero was driving to his father's farm near Medellín, Spain. Santiago was 46 years old, married with 6 children, and had lived in Medellín in the province of Badajoz his entire life. As his car passed a clump of trees, a strong light hit his eyes. He looked up and saw an object flying at low level, approximately 100 meters above the ground. The object was moving at high speed on one side of the castle of Medellín, the historic landmark where Calderón de la Barca wrote, "Life is but a dream." The craft had a round bottom and a cone-shaped tower on top. The round section was transparent and emitted an intense yellow light from within. The tower appeared to be made of metal and also glowed. Santiago's immediate reaction was fear. As he later told journalist J.M. Bolivia from the Madrid newspaper Pueblo, "I became so frightened that I thought that I'd jump out of my skin." He switched off his car headlights and continued driving slowly in second gear. The object followed him, maintaining a distance of about 70 meters to his right. Santiago was shaking. He would later say, "You just can't imagine what a tremendous impression a thing like that makes on a man. I'd like to see another man in my shoes at a time like that to see how he'd act." When Santiago reached the hill, he turned his headlights back on. The object immediately accelerated towards him at high speed. He quickly turned the lights off again, and the craft retreated. This pattern continued as Santiago drove to the farm. When he used his lights, the object approached. When he turned them off, it pulled back. The craft moved in ways Santiago had never seen. He could hover, move up and down, zigzag, or accelerate instantly. Sometimes it swayed like a pendulum or spun in place. When Santiago reached the farm, the object positioned itself near the door, hovering about 100 meters up while moving up and down. Santiago ran into the house and locked the door. After recovering from the initial shock, Santiago came back outside carrying a pitchfork. He later admitted he had considered fleeing to the mountains where he knew hiding spots. The object was now stationary above the farm, its lights so bright that it looked like daytime. Santiago decided to point his car headlights at the craft to see it better. The object's response was immediate. Santiago described it. "The thing headed for me like a bat out of hell. He turned off the lights and the craft stopped its approach, then resumed moving up and down. During the close approaches, the object came within 50 meters. Santiago could see inside through the transparent lower section. He observed 3 figures who were over 2 meters tall. They were standing and appeared to be holding control levers. Each wore a helmet. Santiago had estimated the round portion was about 20 meters in diameter and the tower was 10 meters high. The craft made no sound despite its size and movements. The object remained in the area throughout the day. It performed various maneuvers, hovering, moving up and down, zigzagging, spinning. Sometimes it looked as distant as a star, then would suddenly be nearby. Santiago struggled to describe the movements. At times, it seemed to me to move like a whirlwind, like an incredible maelstrom. Well, it's just that I haven't the ability to explain it. Words fail me. At around 7 p.m, as the sun was setting, the object suddenly accelerated and flew towards Villanueva at high speed. When Santiago's children arrived at the farm, they found their father pale, as white as a ghost, he said. The experience had affected him deeply. He stated, "If I live to be 1,000, I'll never forget that experience. Never, never, never. I swear that it was a terrible thing." Before this encounter, Santiago had been skeptical about UFOs. He thought they were the inventions of idlers and dreamers, just a lot of nonsense. His experience changed his mind completely. "Now I know that there's something to it," he said. When asked what he thought the object was, Santiago answered, "Beings from other worlds. When I saw that apparatus thing is not from this world because there cannot be anything even similar." The encounter changed Santiago's daily routine. He stopped leaving his house in the early morning, preferring to wait until after sunrise before going to the farm. Santiago was not the only witness. A young boy travelling from La Avila to Medellín saw the object from the road. 2 residents of San Benito also reported seeing it. 2 traffic policemen from Medellín reportedly told their families they'd seen the craft, though they didn't file official reports. Journalist J.M. Amalibia interviewed Santiago at the location where the encounter occurred. The interview site was in a clay-coloured field with a clump of trees to the right and the castle of Medellín visible on top of a meseta. Amalibia, who specialised in UFO reports for Pueblo, found Santiago honest and sincere. He noted that Santiago was a simple man who was completely balanced and would seem incapable of such invention. During the interview, Santiago still showed emotion when recounting his experience, shaking as the chill of fear reminded him of the event. Santiago didn't care if people believed him or thought he was crazy. He told Amalibia, "You and all the rest can believe me or not. It's all the same to me. I know it is true, and that's all that matters." He acknowledged that he would have laughed at such a story himself before his experience. The case was investigated by Eileen Buckle and published in Flying Saucer Review, or FSR, Volume 20, Issue Number 3, as part of an article titled Spanish UFO Fiesta. It was classified as a close encounter of the third kind, or CE3, under the HINEC classification system because of the observed humanoid occupants. The case was noted for its special characteristics, the presence of humanoids and the interaction between the witness and craft through the car headlights. F. Gerard, who contributed to the investigation, wrote to Santiago but didn't expect a reply since Santiago was a simple peasant and may not be able to write. The encounter occurred during June 1974, which produced multiple UFO cases in Spain. Amalibia's report was published in Pueblo on June 22nd in 1974, 8 days after the incident. Santiago's description of the craft was consistent throughout his account. Round on the bottom with a cone-shaped tower on top, transparent lower section with yellow light, metallic-looking tower, approximately 20 metres in diameter and 10 metres high for the tower. The 3 occupants were over 2 metres tall, standing, holding what appeared to be control levers and wearing helmets. The craft's behaviour showed apparent responsiveness to Santiago's car lights. Each time he turned them on, it approached rapidly. When he turned them off, it retreated or maintained distance. This interaction occurred multiple times during the encounter. The object's movement capabilities included hovering, vertical movement, zigzagging, rapid acceleration, spinning in place, and pendulum-like swaying. It could appear distant like a star one moment and be close the next. All movements were silent. The encounter lasted from 5:30 a.m. until around 7 p.m., approximately 13.5 hours. During this time, the object remained in the general area of the farm, performing various manoeuvres, while Santiago observed. Santiago's transformation from skeptic to believer was complete. His practical nature and initial skepticism, combined with his detailed observations and the lengthy duration of the encounter, made him a compelling witness. His indifference to public opinion about his experience added to his credibility. The Medellín case became part of the documented UFO activity in Spain during 1974. The multiple witnesses, the lengthy duration, the detailed observations of craft and occupants, and the interactive nature of the encounter made it a significant case in UFO research. Santiago Pulido Romero's experience stands as a detailed account of a close encounter with an unidentified craft and its occupants. His matter-of-fact reporting, despite his obvious emotional impact from the event, provides researchers with specific details about craft appearance, occupant description, movement patterns, and witness-craft interaction.